why we have the war. People have a different perspective about the war. And they think that we have the war here because of economic reason, religious reason, or whatever mental reason. But when we look deep down at the root or the causes of the war, we see man actually create the war. Why they create the war? Because they're so stressed. Maybe physical or mental. Physical, like natural resources restriction, or the greed or desire to grow and something, or desire to control. Stress is physical. So physical is the environmental factor which contributes to the stress, and also the mental. Even in the family, within the past, we still have stressful situation, and the mental. We need some kind of the mental development so that both can understand, mutually share understanding. And in the literature, I saw many terminology. At the beginning, they say the tolerance. If you cannot do anything with the conflict, just tolerate. And then the more appropriate at the present time, they say appreciation. So it's all come back to the mental factor, which create the stressful situation and creating the war. Buddhism has 4 elements, very strong to develop the personal character. And 2 important is the loving kindness. And the second one, very important, is a compassion. By loving kindness, that means your nature. You see by example, you see the children, 1, 2-year-olds, you put them black, white, yellow, color skin, you put them in the bath, and they play together. They enjoy it. They never fight. You know, they enjoy it. So why we grow up and we keep fighting? You know, black and white is so different. Because the influence or indoctrination by the environment, you know, the education, the propaganda, the resources, and the desire to control, many things. And how can we deal with the physical factor? Whereas we have no control on our mental, we have no strong basis for the mental factor. When we encounter physical constraint, immediately we react to stress. And it causes the chaos. If we are calm, we understand, we appreciate the differences between the people, the people attitudes according to the circumstances, then you can understand why the phenomenon exists, why stress exists. Stress is nothing. It's man-made because the lack of understanding of the people or the circumstances or the environment, so they react in stressful situations. In the next few days, you have the exam. But if today you have the empty mind, you are stressful. How can I pass? That's the whole thing. You go home and life is unpredictable. You never know what's going on at home. I got one of my followers a month ago. He was at the New South Wales University, and he's a senior staff. When he go home, he saw the ugly thing, which is from his perspective, is not right. His wife with another man. So it's stressful. And he got upset. He couldn't do anything. He just fell down on the ground. And he rang me. I said, calm down, do meditation, and you discover who you are, what you should do. The things we call the world, or the phenomena, created by the different factors. And every factor is impermanent. Even in your mind, it's come and go, come and go. Something is right today, tomorrow is not right. So after he practiced, you know what he has to do. And he talked to the couple, he said, now you can enjoy your life and leave me alone. Because he said he couldn't, he appreciated that is a time, you know, to say goodbye. You can't do anything because it hurt you, hurt the partner. So if you have the appreciation, then you can react differently. But how you develop appreciation? When you are 2-year-olds, you play around with the children, different gender, different race, and you still love them. So the loving kindness is actually something within yourself. It has been there. When you're born with that nature, loving kindness. Love everybody. Love your mommy, love your daddy, love your friends. Even the flower. You don't want to destroy anything. What I see is even in the universities, we are proud to, or we usually make a profound statement. The University of Sydney is the top in Australia, which produce all the high quality standard of scientists. What you see around all the garden, you will see how the people with the high standard, high educated background destroy the garden and throw the rubbish everywhere. So it's not about the education which creates the dilemma, which you, which us, we don't have the awareness, mindfulness. So if we train ourselves to appreciate ourselves, our body, circumstances, the environment, and then we react differently. We content ourselves with the loving kindness. We develop more. I was tortured for 3 years because I made some statement against the dictatorship. But I still love them when I meet them in New York for many meetings. And they say sorry. I said, no, you don't have to be sorry. Because circumstances force you to do a certain thing. There's a bureaucracy, there's a system, there's an environment. You have no choice. If you don't beat me, somebody will beat you. So better you beat me and let me take the burden. That's it. So if you see, as I am seeing myself, it's nothing, the emptiness. And you see my body, you see only look 168 centimeters. But scientists prove it, I'm empty. All the material in the universe contain only 108 atoms. And each one contains only electron, proton, and neutrons, which is energy. And So where we have the desire, where we have hatred, where do we have the anger, where does it exist? From the energy, from the atom. And the scientists prove it. If they extract electron, proton, and neutron without the empty space, they condense them together. It's like a little one. So a man like big like that come just a little. Because we contain all the emptiness. But the thing makes us go to war because we have the ego. That's very important. I am important. So that distinguish or discriminate between the I and the rest. Even the family. Husband say, I'm the boss in the house. The wife say, if I don't cook, you finish. So it keeps challenging the authority, you know. Both parties keep challenging the authority of each other. It's create a conflict because of physical and mental. So the Buddhism say because we are empty I, the empty ego, the empty is constituted by just the conceptual factor. It's not the real thing. So we can appreciate, and if we appreciate the differences and appreciate the emptiness, we're happy. There's two kinds of the truth according to the Buddhism. One we call the conventional truth. It's the truth applicable in circumstances, in the context. In Australia, men and women shake hands and embrace each other on the street. Nobody take a notice. But in my country, two men shake hands, they call homosexual. So that's different. So depending on circumstances, conventional truth is the truth applicable in some circumstances. In society, right? Another one is the ultimate truth. It's irrespective of the circumstances or the environment, it's still right. It's still the truth. If the fire is hot, it's burn you, irrespective whether it's on the mountain or in the under the ground, it still burn you. If the fire is hot, so it's ultimate truth. But conventional truth is only applicable in some circumstances, some regional, some culture. It may be right in some culture, but it's not right in another culture. So if we are seeking conventional truth, we come back to the mental discriminative factor, and then we live in a stressful situation. Muslim people can have 4 wives. And here we cannot have it. So it's create a conflict, you see. And I've been to many Muslims. I just came back from the northern Europe a few months ago, tried to promote try to build the hospital for the poor, giving the free treatment for the poor. And people still have even the women, they still accept not just the tolerance, but appreciation. They are happy with their circumstances. And it's no problem for them to share one husband. You see, 4 wives sharing one husband. And they're happy. And I said, why? You can have a different thing. He said, no, I am born in that circumstances, indoctrinate. That's the mentality. They're happy with that. They live with that. So are you going to tell them, forget about one husband and 4 wives, and go back to Australia for 1 wife and 1 husband, and the way we live is right, the way they live is wrong. And that creates stress. See, challenging the authority. Ego. I am here. I have 4 wives. Nobody can command me because the Quran said I have it. Religious doctrine said I can have it. So I have it. Even Mormons, they can have 72 wives.
Expensive.
See, so what's the difference? You see, it's all the culture. You go to churches, even church, you go to different Catholic church, you have a different Catholic culture, different from one church to another church. Some member in one church wouldn't like to go to another church, even the same Orthodox, same Catholic. Buddhism is the same. My disciples come to me. Even in one temple, we have 6 senior monks. And a group of students, they come to me always to learn about meditation, and they don't want to learn from my senior monks. Even they are higher ranks and more experienced than me, they just don't like it. So what? There's a culture, you see. If we appreciate that, it's not make no difference. So stress causes war because the mental factor, and if in the university we try to do is to develop the mental rightfulness. That means the character development. Give you all the books to read about the conflict, about the war, and it's actually indoctrinate you to think in a certain way. But in war, you have to find a way for yourself, because no such thing exactly in reality, exactly written in a book. The book is only illustrate a certain platform for you to play, give you the guidance, and the circumstances in reality is changing dramatically. It's nothing permanent. But if you have the good mentality, and you can appreciate how the interaction, differences between the people in the world, and you can understand the meaning, the message they try to tell you. Every time I met my so-called enemies in the New York, and we still shake hands, we still had a cup of coffee. I said, they said, they're sorry. I said, I have to be sorry. And if they feel sorry, I advise them, go back to the country, change the policy, make it better for the people. Because we still love them. So I truly love them. If they got a problem, come to me. I still try to find a good solution, talk to them. But I think mostly the problem is stress. They don't have the sufficient information, or they are living in uncertainty when they encounter the change in the environment. And they are familiar or get used to circumstances, in particular cases, they get used to the circumstances, so they cannot tolerate any changes. What happened if Australia become a communist country? Nobody want that. What happened about dictatorship is applicable. Even the government, sometimes they enact the laws, actually impose some authority on the people, for migration law, tax law, still affect you. And it causes stress to many people. I've been around to many villages, and even the Aboriginal people. I see how it affects people mentally. And they don't know what to do, they just keep drinking, thinking that after drinking they are better. They be better. So it's the mental. But in order to have the good or right mentality, you have to have the right view, right perception about the phenomenon, the things around you. You need sufficient information on both sides or multiple faces to understand, to analyze. And then you have to have the good intention to approach certain matter or certain people. You have the right view and right intention. And the most important thing is that we exhibit relationship between two parties or multiple parties is a communication. Whether the communication will generate war or peace, depending on right views, right intention. So appreciation is very important. And I've been trained myself for more than 40 years in meditation. Try to understand myself. Meditation is a technique to rediscover yourself, why you are here, what you are doing, and what troubles your mind, the mentality. So in appreciate the brain, the capacity, and also with my background in science, I know the universe formulation. I can practice because I know everything is just empty. So if you have the right view, you have the right intention, you develop the right communication, right speech, and that will bring the party together. We don't have the war. Sometimes, most of the time, I can tell you, the wars created by the misunderstanding between the family members, between the group in the community, between the churches, even within the church, even within the university. If people sit down with the right view, right intention, and right communication, that's sort of thing. Very important. And to achieve the best appreciation is a process of learning and developing yourself, developing mentality. So we do meditation. I myself do it about 10 times a day. And every time it's about 20 minutes, 30 minutes. And sometimes in the night time, say between 2 and 3 o'clock, at night time, I do 1.5 hours. The beautiful thing about the meditation is you know yourself. The more you do, the more you learn about yourself, rediscover yourself. All the trouble is within your mind. You think it's a trouble, but you think it's nothing. Just everything's impermanent, so it come and go. Even your thought, you may think about a particular object. Today is different, tomorrow is different, and next day you have a different perception as well. So if you appreciate things impermanent, you don't bother to stick with your mind or your conviction, and that improve your capability to appreciate the universe changes. So how far have we got the conventional truth within the context, but ultimate truth is still there. So the conventional truth, people say the world created by the differences or the shortage of the natural resources, economic reason, religious reason, or survival, or whatever. Too many theories. It's just a theory. Maybe good for the PhD thesis. But the cause of war is stress. and mainly by men. See, men living in stressful situation causing war. So if you have the high degree of appreciation, you just relax. So, you want to learn about the practice?
Yes, please. Yep.
Give you 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Practice.
Can I say?
Yeah.
Parallel meditation?
Because in theory, if you try to understand the theories in too many books, whatever I told you is written in more than 1,000 books, and the concept all the same, just mentality in mind. Because people don't understand living in uncertainty without the sufficient information, and don't have the capability to appreciate, so they living in stressful situation. You can sit down like this, no problem, but you should put your legs steady, not crossing your legs, yes, and stretch your back. Okay. And doing a proper meditation, you will discover yourself if you try to do it at home. You close your eyes 70%, open about 30%, pointing to one object or one point. Don't move it. And bite your teeth gently. And try to follow your breath. Inhale, exhale, and follow it. Don't listen to anything. Whatever sound, whatever the thought you have in your mind, just try to forget it. Try to think about the breathing. Because life is on the oxygen. If you don't have it, you finish. So keep thinking about it. We don't listen to that for many years when we just born. We just follow all the environment, we react and we forget about our breath. So now inhale, exhale, and try to follow it. When it come in, you know it's coming. When it get out, you know it's getting out. And try to follow it. Closing your eyes about 70% and open about 30%. And keep watching on one point. Don't think about anything else. Forget stress your legs. Okay. Not to at the back. A lot of even sometimes I supervise PhD students, they said, it's very difficult to concentrate so stressful because they have to earn the living, they have the family, and they still have to finish the thesis. I said, that's the stress because mentality. You have the mental block. So if you relax, you clear your mind, like the water, a cup of water here. When it's full, how much you can pour in? Nothing. So you have to empty it. And you put more. Meditation is technique to empty the glass, empty your mind, so that you can appreciate and understand things clearly more. And if you are in a position, you have the empty mind, like a child, you see a child learning the language very quick because they can comprehend very quick because they have the empty mind. Why we cannot learn a new language now? It's so difficult because there are too many in our mind, like the water, the glass, full of water. We have to empty it. Meditation is technique to empty all the rubbish in your mind so that you can develop the capability to understand things more. And it gives you the joy and happiness. When you develop the mentality, good mentality, in meditation, you actually develop loving kindness. First, you love yourself. Because without you, there's nothing important. Am I right? Because without you, it's nothing important. Religion, father, mother, the earth, nothing important. Because you're irrelevant. When you are here, everything is important. So you have to look after yourself. You know how to look after yourself by reducing stress through meditation. And secondly, share the happiness, loving kindness with the other people. That's mean compassion. Loving kindness is your nature. You love yourself, love the environment, love everything. But the compassion, sharing that love with the other people in a meaningful way. That is the purpose of meditation. So once you have a loving kindness and compassion, you don't have the ego. Because you know you are empty. And if you are empty, you don't have the ego. Because it's empty. A person cannot have the ego. Everything is equal. We in the Blue Mountain, we have the free meditation course during the weekend. And actually, I myself try to develop some meditation course in the university campus for academic people and the student and whoever interested to learn. This is we call stress management. It's free. Everything is free. CD, DVDs, the material is free. You have to empty your mind. Whatever you have, any conviction, any theory, you have to empty your mind in order to have a new thing in your class. And during last 10 minutes you did meditation. Probably you notice that it's very difficult to control your mind. And we call capsa, which equal 10 minus 6 seconds. 10 minus 6 seconds, very like a flash. That measurement in time, you have 80 thoughts. Running around your mind in that 10 minus 6 seconds. Second is very quick. 10 minus 6. So it's like a flash. But during that time, you have 80 thoughts arising up and down in your mind. Scientists prove it already. So you see in every day how many thoughts you have. Just incredible. And it's full. And it's full, you can have no capacity to observe the new thing, the new idea, new environment. Even you don't enjoy, even you go out, I see many students, they go out on a campus and they're so stressful running around. I said, it's beautiful, the sun, the flower, the people. But they don't have time to appreciate it. It creates stress. Day to day, it's creates stress. And until the class is full, your mind is full. When you encounter certain minor thing, you cannot appreciate, you cannot tolerate. It just blow up. And it creates a war between the member of the family and the community. Okay. So, time for the question and answer, if you have any. You see Mandela, he did meditation, Gandhi, meditation. Many leaders.
Nelson Mandela,
Yeah,
when he was in prison.
yeah, he did meditation.
Okay.
He said every day he did meditation, try to discover himself, why he's in these circumstances, why people hate, where the hatred come from. And once you discover yourself, you actually improve your loving kindness. And if you have that, you can share with people with compassion. If you don't love yourself, how can you love other people? A couple may say, husband say to the wife, yes, I love you, darling, but if you die, give me all the checks. I'm not going to go into the coffin or the cemetery with you. Leave all the legacy for me. That's a fact. It's important. Yes.
Do you know anything about the brain scan studies that have been done on people who are meditating? And
Yes.
the effect it has?
Actually, I have one lady, is my disciple. She's about 62 now in Singapore. 4 years ago, she faced the brain cancer. And the doctor said she could not survive more than 6 months. But she still survived until now, nearly 4 years. Because at the time I was in Singapore, I introduced a long courses for 6 months in meditation. And she went to the course learning. And she very keen to practice. She, anytime, she nearly 10 hours a day she spent for the meditation. Because she knows she will die very soon. So she eagerly practices. And she's still in the hospital, but she still survived for 4 years already. What the doctor discovered in her brain is the cancer stopped developing, but they cannot destroy the cancer. I think the problem, the physical and the mental, has been developed in that way for many years, for 40 years or 30 years already. It takes time for her to develop. But at least it challenged the doctor authority. The doctor said 6 months and now she's living 4 years. And that's why she just gave me 20 million donation for the humanitarian project. I show it to Jake and some professor at the university already. It's what we can do with that money. Look for the opportunity. So the brain is a physical thing, but it's controlled by mentality. Because if you have the mentality, loving kindness and compassion, you love yourself, you love your body, and actually by meditation you can change the chemical thing in developing something in your body, which reactivate or regenerate the stem or the cells in the brain. It's not just one case. In my lifetime, I faced about nearly 20 cases. The doctor says 6 months, 3 months, they still live for 4 years, 3 years, with no medication. Normally, you have to get injection of the some chemical to keep you survive for a year or 2 years. But no, we don't need that. Just by medication and proper diet. Okay.
What's the name of the center?
The Australian Buddhist Center. I can send all information to you, and even if you people interested, I can come here with some monks to assist me and teach you about meditation anytime, maybe on the weekend, whatever, for your benefit. Peace in theory need to be applied in practice, and the key thing is the man work. So if you have the healthy mind, healthy body, healthy thinking, healthy education, the chance is you can improve the stress, living in a relaxing situation. Truly, I still love the people who torture, because I know it's nothing. just circumstances and think past. It's nothing important.
So through meditation, were you actually able to reduce the pain you experienced when you were being tortured,
Yes.
do you think?
Yes.
Could you say a little bit more about that, about what exactly happened?
Through meditation, something like, because the disorder structure of your physical body create the diseases. Immunity is your natural born capacity, your born capacity to cope with the environment. Once you are influenced by the physical or the environmental factors, you lose your capacity to protect yourself. So your body losing the capacity to generate some chemical which give you immunity. So now by meditation, you return to the original state of your body. And some of my PhD students, they said after doing meditation at night time, and when they come back with the thesis, they have a new idea and they know what to do very quick, it's a clear mind. But it requires a regular practice.
Discipline.
Discipline. Not really discipline, because discipline means the schedule you have to follow. You just relax. Meditation requires the relaxing mind. If you force yourself, it's not relaxing. It's against the natural order.
I meant discipline in terms of regular practice.
Yes, you have to set some time to do it regularly. Thanks a lot. You just cannot say, okay, today I'm very tired, I don't want to do it, so let's do double tomorrow. It's not good. Every day you need only 20 minutes, and in the night time, if you do 20 minutes, it's worth about 4 hours of sleeping if you do it properly. You regenerate your energy. And I myself, I sleep only about 3 hours a night. And for many years, I'm still working 16 hours a day, teaching at the temple, different temple, in the nursing home, in the prison. I usually go to prison to teach a prisoner the character development courses in different university, teaching about the meditation.
I guess I have one
Yes,
question,
please.
and just confusing about the empty of the mind. Like we are human, especially student or professor, they have to keep some information for their tests. And when we read, we have to keep some information so we can remember tomorrow what right when we go to test. So when we empty, how can we remember what information we need for?
You see the computer, they have the, thank you for asking this very interesting question. Computer have the limited capacity. They go to gigabytes, you store it and then it's full, you have to delete something. And then you put something more. Likewise, our brain have the limited capacity. Irrespective of how big it is, you still have to delete something, So the scientists, the great scientists have the capability to delete certain information and try to grab the framework, the concept, but not the detail. So they try to delete as many as they want. But by deleting, by throwing away, doesn't mean that you will forget it. It's still there, information is still there. But you just don't pay too much attention to that. And then you have the clear mind. See? And if you have the clear mind, like empty class, you can put more, you know. Your brain, you see, through meditation, it will release all the information. Because as I said, every second you have about a million thoughts arising, and it build up, unnecessarily build up the block in your mind, the mental blocks. So unless you have the technique to discharge it, you can get something more. See? Even now, I had a chance last year to talk to Stephen Hawking, and he said, very simple, meditation. I said, what kind of meditation? Think about something and just discharge, like the energy, like the battery. You charge, you have to discharge it, and you charge more. See, your brain, you have to have some technique. We call meditation. The religious people may say meditation may have the connotation with faith. We don't believe in that way. Meditation is technique for you to discharge all the unnecessary thinking, unproductive thinking, so that you can have something worthwhile, focus on something. Because the number of thoughts arising in your mind is incredible. Every day is billions of thoughts. And if you don't have a technique.
I heard it said we have 86 billion neurons in our brain.
Yes. So if you don't have a technique to help yourself, some people they pray like the Muslim, they pray 5 times or 6 times a day. But during the prayer 10 minutes, they really do meditation. They focus on that. They forget everything, even the ego, the self, the I. Forget it. Just submit to some supreme beings and forget everything. Forget about the trouble in life, studies, economic, whatever. Just throw it away. And that's like the empty glass. Any question?
We're all quite full. Filling them with too much information.
Even I talked to some leaders in the Middle East and Europe level. They still need some time to sit down quietly. Sometimes they just lock himself or herself in a room and sit down quietly. So that kind of meditation, not necessarily any religious meditation. Try to empty your mind so that you can have a clear picture, clear vision of who you are, what you are doing, and where will you go. This is important. Once you know who you are and where will you go, and you do properly.
Wonderful. Well, it's been very, very moving to experience your peace of mind and your clarity and kindness and compassion in coming along this morning. So perhaps if you could all...
We are looking forward to receiving this copy.
Yes, I will send you the CD and some material about the meditation. And either you can go to our center, or you can I can come here to talk to you about the meditation, the technique to develop the personality, the mentality, and enjoy life. And you will see no conflicts, because you see stress is empty. Stress is actually empty.
Can you be contacted through email?
Yes.
Yes.
Can we get
Yes.
Very simple. tmintam@gmail.com.
You clearly had quite an impact on the class this morning, so thank you so much.
Thank you for inviting me, and I hope that you all will pass the exam and no stress.
Lovely, thank you so much. So it's 10 to 2, so if we